Introduction. Hello everyone, and welcome to the EveryWear tutorial. EveryWear is a feature that connects creators' digital garments to various avatars and digital environments. With EveryWear, creators can easily optimize garments made in Clo or Marvelous Designer for use in different digital settings such as games, metaverse platforms, and entertainment projects. In this tutorial, we'll learn step-by-step how to use EveryWear for garment fitting, mesh optimization, rigging, UV packing, and texture baking. Getting started with EveryWear. Click Connect from the main menu at the top to launch EveryWear. The EveryWear window appears in the upper right corner of the 2D window, and you can check the polygon counts of the garment and avatar in the lower left corner of the 3D window. EveryWear consists of two main tabs, the Garment tab and the Material tab. In the Garment tab, you can perform polygon optimization and rigging tasks. In the Material tab, you can handle UV packing, texture baking, and material application. Polygon optimization. Since the number of meshes and file size supported vary by platform, you need to optimize the garment's poly count according to each platform's requirements. In the Garment tab, you can optimize the garment's poly count for the platform of your choice. Optimize. The number displayed to the right of garment polygons in the EveryWear window represents the total number of meshes in the garment, including elements such as buttons and trims. When the garment mesh style is changed to quad, Garment Polygon shows the total poly count by adding the number of converted quad polygons and the remaining triangles. Garment Triangles displays the total poly count of the garment converted into the number of triangles. In the Avatar section below, you can check the polygon count of the avatar. You can also view the total polygon count in the lower left corner of the 3D window. To optimize the garment's polygon count, enter the target polygon number in the empty field next to the Garment section and click the Optimize button. The garment's polygons will be automatically optimized to match the entered value. If you want to optimize each pattern individually, select the pattern and adjust the particle distance value under Property Editor, Simulation Properties, to control the mesh counts. Individual trim optimization is useful when button or trim meshes are high poly. Select the button or trim you want to optimize from the object browser, then go to the bottom of the Property Editor window. Under Polygon Optimization, Face Count, enter the desired value. The trim's polygons will be automatically optimized to match the entered number. You can further reduce the mesh count of trims by using the Trim Billboarding feature. Check the plain box at the bottom to convert the trim into a flat image. To change the garment's mesh type to quad, select the pattern and choose Quad under Property Editor, Geometry, Mesh Type. Open the completed garment file after simulation and creation, then use the Polygon Optimization feature in EveryWear to adjust the garment's mesh count. Thickness. Select the pattern to which you want to apply thickness, then go to Property Editor, Geometry, and follow the steps below. Enter the desired thickness value under Add Thickness Rendering. The applied thickness can be viewed in the 3D window only when the display mode is set to Thick Textured Surface. To clearly view the mesh structure, enable the Show Wireframe feature. You can easily toggle it on and off by pressing the Alt-W shortcut key. In the Extrusion Direction setting, you can define the direction in which thickness is applied. Selecting both applies thickness to both the front and back sides of the pattern. Forward applies thickness to the front side, while backward applies it to the inner side of the pattern. You can also specify which surfaces to display based on the normal direction using the front, back, and seam face checkboxes. Front face displays the front side based on the normal direction, back face displays the back side, and seam face shows the overlapping surfaces around the seam lines. Side geometry. In side geometry, you can control the curvature and mesh subdivision of the pattern's side surface. Adjust the curvature value to set the roundness. Values closer to 100 create a smoother curve, while values closer to 0 make the surface more angular. use the resolution setting to define the number of subdivisions for the side mesh. The default value is 6, and it can be set from a minimum of 0 to a maximum of 10. Setting the value to 0 removes the side mesh entirely. The curvature value only takes effect when the resolution is set to 2 or higher. You can also apply different resolution values to each segment by clicking the line with the Edit Pattern tool. Tip: the resolution value for all patterns is set to 6 by default. For mesh optimization, it is recommended to lower the resolution value below 6, or set it to 0 for patterns that do not require thickness. Auto-seal. The auto-seal feature closes open areas such as sleeves or hems to prevent the inside of the garment from being visible. By filling these openings, you can avoid exposing the garment's interior when the avatar moves, improving the overall completeness of the garment. Click the Auto-Seal button to choose between Disk Mode and 3D Pin Mode. In Disk Mode, you create a disk by placing 3 points on the pattern, and the curve cut by the disk serves as the guideline. In 3D Pin Mode, you draw a curve directly on the garment to create a guideline. It works the same way as the standard 3D Pen tool, and the first and last points must connect to complete the curve. After creating the guideline, select the direction in which the surface will be generated to apply auto-seal. The inner sealed mesh is automatically masked to prevent unnecessary mesh usage. The area created by auto-seal can only be viewed in the garment thickness display mode. If you want to delete it, select and remove the internal line created on the pattern in the 2D window. Mask Brush. The Mask Brush feature allows you to mask specific areas of the garment so that only the necessary parts are retained, enabling you to export an optimized garment file. Click the brush icon next to Polygon Optimization to enter the Mask Brush tab. The front and back tabs in Mask Brush are based on the 2D pattern window, while in the 3D window, you can mask both sides simultaneously. In the Type section, you can choose how to select areas: brush, box, or lasso. Use Mode to add or remove mask areas. Adjust the brush size with size. When the Select Enclosed Region option is enabled, the entire closed area containing the selected point will be automatically masked. This option is available only when Type is set to brush. When the double-sided brush option is turned on, both the front and back sides can be masked simultaneously. Click Clear All Masks to remove all masks applied to the front or back. Click Reset to restore the mode and size settings to their defaults, or click Exit to close the Mask Brush window and return to the EveryWear window. Once the Mask Brush window is closed, the meshes with masked areas will appear as deleted in the 3D window. Rigging. Rigging is a process in 3D modeling process that creates a skeleton structure composed of joints and bones, allowing a modeled object to be animated. In EveryWear, rigging links the garment to the avatar's joints, synchronizing their movements so the garment moves naturally with the avatar. The rigging process also includes weight painting, which defines how much each part of the garment is influenced by the movement of the avatar's joints. This creates a controllable structure that allows the garment and avatar to move smoothly together. While Chloe and Marvelous Designer specialize in realistic cloth simulation and can produce lifelike garment animations, simulation-based animation tends to have large file sizes, making it inefficient for game environments. Therefore, in the game industry, rigging is used to synchronize garment and avatar movement in a more optimized way. EveryWear's rigging feature provides an efficient solution for connecting garments and avatars for this purpose. EveryWear rigging applies rigging to the garment based on the avatar's weight information. The avatar must have joints and be in a human form, and rigging only works when the avatar is in an A pose or T pose. In the Garment tab, click the Apply button under Rigging to automatically rig the garment. After rigging is applied, the Update and Brush tools become available. The Target Joint option is used to exclude or remove the weight of specific joints from the rigging target. If the garment has already been rigged, set the target joint and click Update to remove the weight applied to that joint. Enable Show Avatar Joints to view the avatar's joint points in the 3D window. Use the Max Influence Joint option to define the maximum number of joints that can influence each vertex. Click Switch to Bind Pose to return the avatar to its original pose defined during creation. This function is independent of the current or recently loaded pose, and if you switch to Bind Pose before rigging is applied, the current drape shape may be altered. It is recommended to perform rigging while in Bind Pose, as rigging in a different pose may cause artifacts when adjusting weights. When using the All Patterns option, all patterns will be rigged or updated. Using the Selected Patterns option allows you to rig or update only the selected patterns. For best results, rig all patterns first using the All Patterns option, and then use selected patterns for partial adjustments if needed. After auto-rigging is complete, you can see that weights have been applied to the garment, allowing it to move along with the avatar when changing poses. If you run a simulation while rigging is active, a warning message will appear. Selecting Yes will simulate the garment and remove the rigging information, while selecting No will cancel the simulation and keep the rigging data. Click the Update button to reapply rigging based on the current state. When you click the Brush tool, the EveryWear window temporarily closes, and the Brush tool appears in the upper right corner of the 3D window. Use the Weight brush to perform weight painting. Weight painting defines how much each joint influences the surrounding vertices, allowing the rigged garment to move naturally with the avatar's motion. Through this process, you can achieve realistic and smooth movement. Although EveryWear's rigging feature automatically distributes weights, you should inspect the garment to ensure that no areas are penetrating the avatar's body or failing to follow its motion, and make manual adjustments where needed. Weight brush. The weight brush offers 4 blend modes: add, subtract, smooth single joint, and smooth multiple joints. You can switch between them using the shortcut Ctrl+ tab. Add increases the weight, subtract decreases it, and smooth blends the weight values to make them consistent with the surrounding areas. In smooth brush mode, single joint smooths the weight differences between the selected joint and its surrounding vertices. By pressing Ctrl and Shift and clicking a joint, you can smooth all weights associated with that joint. Multiple joints mode applies smoothing to all joints, blending the weights of every joint on each vertex with its neighboring vertices. Therefore, in multiple joints mode, you can smooth the weights across all areas. In the brush properties, you can adjust strength, size, focal, and depth. Strength controls the intensity of the brush. Size adjusts the brush radius. Focal defines the intensity difference between the brush center and its edges, while depth determines how deep the brush affects the surface. Click Reset to restore the properties to their default values, and click Exit to close the brush tool and return to the EveryWear window. Let's use the weight brush to adjust the weights. In the 3D window, hold down the Control key and click a joint to view the weights assigned to it. The weights are displayed in color. Red indicates a higher weight value, green represents a medium value, and blue shows a lower value. Areas without any color have a weight value of 0. You can use the brush to add, subtract, or smooth weight values. This can also be performed in the 2D pattern window. Use the shortcut Shift-X to move joints or apply a preset pose. This allows you to check if any parts of the garment are penetrating the avatar's body or not following its movement. Once you identify areas that need correction, adjust the blend mode and brush properties to add or subtract weights as needed. Hammering. If a specific vertex has a weight value that differs significantly from its surrounding vertices, you can use the hammering feature to automatically match it to nearby values. Hold the Shift key and click the desired vertex to apply the adjustment. When activated, the mouse cursor changes from a brush to a red dot, indicating vertex recognition. The hammering feature is particularly useful for fixing mesh distortion caused by unwanted joint influence in areas such as the armpits, pant hems, or sleeves. Joint lock. When you want to limit weight adjustments to a specific area, you can use the joint lock feature. This function is useful when you need to prevent selected joints from being affected during weight editing, stop unrelated joints from influencing the mesh, or make precise adjustments in complex models. Lock joints remain unaffected, even if you modify weights associated with other joints. Hold the Alt key and click a joint to apply a lock. The lock joint will be highlighted in red. To lock all joints, hold Alt and right-click any joint. If a joint is already locked, press Alt and click it again to unlock it. To unlock all joints, hold Alt and right-click. Copy symmetric weights. When patterns are set as symmetrical, you can use the Copy Symmetric Weights feature to copy the weight values from one pattern to its symmetric pattern. This feature allows you to quickly apply identical weight values, greatly reducing the time needed for weight adjustments. This feature is available in Weight Brush mode. First, select the pattern you want to copy weights from in the 2D or 3D window. If multiple patterns are selected, the weights of each selected pattern will be copied. However, if both symmetrical patterns are selected simultaneously, the copy operation will not be executed. After selecting the pattern, right-click and choose Copy Symmetric Weights to apply the copied weight values to the opposite symmetrical pattern. Sculpt Brush. Next is the Sculpt Brush. You can switch to brush mode by pressing the shortcut Ctrl+Grave Accent. If the garment is pierced or overlapping, you can use the Sculpt Brush to directly adjust its shape. The Sculpt Brush has 3 blend modes: Grab, Smooth and Fix Intersection, which can be switched using Ctrl+Tab. Additionally, the brush properties are the same as those for the weight brush, allowing you to adjust strength, size, focal, and depth. The Grab brush is useful for pulling parts of the garment that have penetrated the avatar, or for moving overlapping layers on the surface. Click and drag the desired area, and it will move accordingly without affecting the weight values. The Smooth brush is used to refine the garment surface or to make jagged and uneven areas appear natural. Click and drag over the desired area to apply the brush, and the surface will smoothly adjust to match the surrounding shape. The Fix Intersection brush is used when meshes of the avatar and garment, or between garments, overlap in a way that is difficult to fix with other brushes. Select the brush tool, then go to Sculpt Mode, Blend Mode, Fix Intersection. Adjust the strength, size, and depth values, then click and drag to apply it to the model. Applying the brush this way automatically corrects collisions between the avatar and garment or between garments. Change the avatar's pose to check for areas in the garment that penetrate or do not follow correctly. Use the Weight Brush and Sculpt Brush functions learned so far to make natural adjustments. Once all rigging and adjustments are complete, click the Exit button to return to the EveryWear window. UV Packing. Move to the Material tab. In the Material tab, you can use the UV Packing feature. This feature automatically arranges the garment's UVs to prevent overlap and efficiently organizes many UVs at once. First, in the EveryWear UV Packing window, set the UV image size and the seam size, which defines the spacing between UV pieces. Clicking the Pack UVs button will briefly close the EveryWear window and open the UV Packing Detailed Settings window. In this window, you can configure options related to UV packing. Fidelity is an option to set the accuracy of the UVs from 1 to 5. Higher values closer to 5 place the UVs more accurately according to their original shape, but packing time may increase. Enabling Fixed Scale Ratio allows you to adjust the overall size while maintaining the proportions between UV shells. Enabling Rotation permits the UV shells to rotate. Turning on Advanced Placement uses various placement methods to minimize empty space and achieve more efficient packing. However, higher accuracy may result in longer packing times. The 0 to 1 option in UV area places the selected UVs in the default tile at the 0, 0 area. The selected tile option allows you to specify a tile manually and pack the selected UVs into that area. Clicking the Reset button will restore all options to their default values, and clicking Apply will automatically pack the UVs according to the configured settings. After configuring all options, clicking Apply will pack all UVs. If multiple UV tiles are needed for the garment or specific purposes, you can select the desired pattern in the UV editor and click Apply to pack them individually. Once UV packing is complete, click the Exit button to return to the EveryWear window. Texture baking. Texture baking is a feature that generates maps to capture the details of a high-poly model on an optimized model. The reason for using a low-poly model for texture baking is that low-poly models have smaller file sizes and are more suitable for optimization. Additionally, game engines, AR, and other digital platforms often struggle to handle high-poly models. Using EveryWear's texture baking, you can generate normal maps and ambient occlusion maps using only an optimized low-poly model, without creating a separate high-poly model. A normal map is a texture map commonly used in games and other interactive platforms for real-time rendering, allowing the surface details of a high-poly model to be represented on a low-poly model, without increasing the polygon count. An ambient occlusion map is a grayscale texture used in rendering to simulate indirect shadows by tracking light on the surface of a 3D model. Dark areas represent parts receiving less light, while bright areas indicate well-lit surfaces. This map predicts shadows on its own and mimics the effect of indirect lighting from the surrounding environment, enhancing realism. In EveryWear's texture baking window, select Detail Normal Map and Ambient Occlusion Map. The ray sample count for the AO map refers to the number of light rays sampled per pixel. Higher values produce more precise results but increase computation time. After configuring the settings, click the Apply button to generate the maps. Clicking the Preview button allows you to view the baked map in the 3D window. The strength of the normal map can be adjusted by entering a value in the intensity field or using the slider. The default value is 100, and it can be set from 0 up to 200. To delete a generated map, click the trash can icon. Material list. In the material list, you can copy existing materials or create new ones, and apply the desired material to selected patterns. Initially, materials are created according to the number of UV tiles, and you can right-click in the list to rename or delete them. Clicking the Add button will create a new material, and clicking the Copy button will duplicate the selected material. Use the Assign button to apply a created material to a pattern, and the Delete button is enabled only for empty materials that are not assigned to any pattern. Export. Once all tasks are complete, you can export the file. Using the Export feature, you can save your garment file directly in FBX format. Click the Export button at the bottom of the EveryWear window to start the export. If the export conditions are not met, a warning message will appear. In that case, resolve the indicated issues and click the Export button again. When the window for selecting the save location appears, choose your desired folder and file name. Clicking the Save button will open the Export Options window. First, set the platform. The default is General, and the item will be exported according to the selected platform type. In this tutorial, we will proceed using General as the reference. Next, select the options in the Object section. Garment is selected by default, and in the Thickness option, you can choose either thin or thick. Selecting thin exports the garment as a single surface without thickness, while selecting thick applies thickness during export. Checking the box next to Avatar will export the avatar together with the garment. In the Texture section, you can choose the types of textures to export. In the Options section, configure the texture settings. Selecting Embed Media will include all textures used in the model within the FBX file during export. In the Graphic Library, Choose the format supported by your platform, either OpenGL or DirectX. Once all selections are complete, click the OK button to start the export. When the export is finished, a Success to Export File message will appear. Clicking the Reset button will clear all selected options, and clicking the Cancel button will close the Export Options window and return to the EveryWear window. Save as zip project file. Once all tasks are complete, close the EveryWear window. Saving as a zip project file will store all settings and information applied within the EveryWear window. Finish. Now we have gone through all the main features of EveryWear. Follow the steps demonstrated in the video, and if you have any questions or run into any difficulties, feel free to reach out through the Connect community. Thank you for all your hard work. We hope you continue to enjoy creating amazing digital garments with EveryWear.